Hey guys, before I start this video, I just want you to know that this video will contain inappropriate language that may not be acceptable for some viewers. While I understand using horrible language is not acceptable, what I'm about to talk about is something far worse than that. Anyways, let's start the video. If you've been following my YouTube and my Instagram pages lately, you may have noticed a significant lack of content and activity on both of those pages. For my YouTube channels, it's lack of videos. For my Instagram pages, it's lack of stories and posts. I've been going through a lot lately, and in this video, I'm going to be addressing all of this and the proposals that are coming to my pages going forward throughout this year and going into 2026. If you've been following my pages for a while, particularly if you were around during 2022 and 2023, you might have already known the situation, but to those of you who don't know what happened and or forgot it, I'll tell you what happened again. I don't know if I should really describe it fully, this time say the actual name instead of saying made up names, but at this point, it's time to break silence because I cannot hold this rage that I've been building up for the last 3 fucking years anymore. Anyways, here's the context to those that don't know this situation or have forgotten it by now. In 2022, I found out that some of my classmates were fake friends, and that all this time I meant nothing to them since day one. My classmates were supposed to help me, but instead they fucking scammed me, and in 2023, you should hear how far they went after I made a decision in the following year. In 2023, when I left them and called them out justifiably, I received death threats and loss of followers because of doing so. Not only did they refuse to take accountability for their actions, but they also refused to condemn the behavior. And instead, this individual, who I will mention soon, was pressuring his peers to have them try to pressure me into unblocking him. Who is responsible for this? I'll finally tell you who did it. It's Ernesto and his wannabe thug friends. They are the ones responsible for my mental issues and why I've had to live my life consistently in fear because of death threats he has enabled and refused to condemn and shut down. As sad as it is telling you guys this, I'm just sick to my stomach that even to this day, despite everything I'm telling you, there are still individuals who still to this day defend him. And to those that do so and still follow him, you're part of the problem. It's not just people who follow Ernesto. It's people who follow people like him, like Andrew Tate, Johnny Sumali, Jack Doherty, Lisa Gaming, and other content creators known for drama and awful behavior. But yet social media platforms have refused to demonetize and or kick them off the platform despite their horrible and tasteless, fatherless behavior. I honestly can't believe that we still have people who follow scumbags like him in 2025. It's really sick that we have people that would rather give individuals like him clicks and money so that they can continue to damage more people. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's just horrible and it's just terrible. And the worst part is that if, let's say, people knew this happened, and yet they're still continuing to be friends with him, I'm honestly ashamed of you. You should honestly be ashamed that you are siding with a narcissist instead of siding with someone whose health suffered so bad that their health has plummeted. Because of the stress him and his friends have done to me, my health has deteriorated, and it's linked to him and his friends' stress. Ever since I cut ties with them, I conducted an investigation, and this is what I can conclude despite the arguments his peers have made. I was honestly right about him being a narcissist, despite his sympathizers saying he's not. After you hear what I'm about to tell you, you cannot tell me this isn't narcissistic behavior traits. Narcissists generally don't care about anybody but themselves. So when his peers were calling me slurs, calling me and my family fucking bitches, he did nothing to stop it. But when I say something about one of his sports teams, he cries foul and cries to his peers about it. Believe me, that happened in 2021 after an NFL playoff game. That's strike one. Strike two, narcissists don't like it when you talk bad about them. So when I called him out in 2023 for his behavior, a sympathizer came and lashed at me. which means that a sympathizer was taught to defend him whenever people speak the truth against him. When narcissists get called out, they know it affects their image. So what do? They program their friends to lash out at anyone who speaks the truth against them. Strike three, not taking accountability and instead blaming it on others. People like him are the definition of ashamed of nothing, offended by everything. And I can tell you that this man has had a history of causing problems, which is why he has created and deleted multiple Instagram accounts. When I used to follow him, he created like 3 or 4 accounts. I can't remember, but I just remember that he kept changing accounts every once in a while, which means looking back, he must have been causing drama in his old accounts to the point where he has to delete and create new accounts to avoid accountability. That's likely what happened in the case of Ernesto versus Rosa. I seriously don't know the dispute that happened between them, but I just remember he told me to tell Rosa that he's sorry. Basically, sent an apology from him to her. And it happened with me in 2023 when he refused to take accountability for the reasons why he's no longer my friend. He refused to admit his mistakes and instead proceeded to gaslight me and say that he wasn't a fake friend and that I was misguided. He was literally talking to me as if I need to go to a fucking mental asylum. And if that is not enough, he pressured someone that year in 2023 to attempt that person to put pressure on me into unblocking him, but I ultimately rejected it. Because why go back to scum, especially when they were calling me very awful things? Strike four, controlling. Not only was he a narcissist, he was also a controlling person because he and Ian would tell me what I should and shouldn't post. Like, let's say I post something about Donald Trump or Kanye West or any other person they don't like, they'll tell me to shut it down, but they don't shut down their group making awful art about me or anybody else. And another thing to add in about him, he's a hypocrite. He's fine with his group calling me and my family out of their names, but when I talk about his sports teams badly, he throws a freaking tantrum. This was a man who was literally tormented for most of his early life by ableists and people that told him he was weird for talking to himself. But despite that, he is literally friends with the same people who do the exact same things towards others, especially since he's friends with one of the guys who told me in middle school I was weird for talking to myself. And he also enabled and encouraged bullying towards me as well in middle school. How can you honestly be friends with people who did the exact same things that hurt you when you were young? That's the question I just want answered. Ladies and gentlemen, if this does not show you the proof that he's a narcissist, I don't know what else will. But anyways, this is what's going to happen going forward throughout the rest of the year and what's going to happen going into 2026, which is in 5 months from now. Like I mentioned earlier, we have people who still support this mess in 2025. If you're one of those people still supporting this mess, this is all I can say to you.
Get the out of here! Yeah, get the out of here!
Skedaddle! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fucking moving, dog! Get fucking daddle! Get the fuck out of here! Kick fucking rocks!
As if I couldn't agree more. If you still follow Ernesto and his sympathizers in 2025, y'all need to get the fuck out of my page for real. If you still promote him and people like him and continue to give money to his content, not only are you a part of the problem, you're also giving people like him more power to disrespect and harm more people. So basically, what I'm saying is if you still support him in 2025, all I'm going to ask you is reconsider ties with him and people like him. And if you can't do that, here are your choices. You can either leave him or leave me. But if you choose to leave me, I wouldn't care less because I don't want people who sympathize with thugs to follow me. I cannot enforce a block policy, like, for example, if you don't unfollow him, you will be blocked. No, I will instead do this policy. If you follow him and you're an extremist follower of him, you will be blocked because I cannot and will not take the disrespect his extremist followers have caused on my page anymore. Like I said earlier about narcissists don't care about anybody but themselves. So if you think defending him will get you anywhere with him, believe me, it will do nothing besides alter the rest of your life. If you get arrested, deported, injured, killed, lose your job, or anything that happens negatively by defending him, he will not care. And by the time you realize all this time he was using you, it would be too late to regret everything. While he and his friends are out and about, you're the one picking up the pieces that you can never get back if you served him. So if you think doing any type of favor for him will appease him, trust me, he and his friends will never appease you. Instead, they will laugh at you behind your back. And when something ugly happens, don't tell me I didn't warn you. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. The power is in your own hands. You can either continue to give a tyrant more power and attention, or you can simply reject his narcissism and narcissism of others. I can't force you to change. I can't force you to do things you don't want to do because at the end of the day, it's your life, not my life. Even though I can't change everyone, all I can just tell you is please, 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 please reject narcissism and please reject Satanism. While the new era starts, I hope everyone stays safe and stays blessed. Take care, y'all. Bye.